Hey, what's up, YouTube? It is Ayana, aka the Crafty Notary, here on this lovely Friday. Let's move the camera over here. And there we go. And welcome to my channel. If you are a first-time watcher or a non-subscriber, welcome. And I encourage you to subscribe to my channel for more information about how to start your notary business and all the ins and outs. And today I just want to talk candidly about the notary business, kind of how things have been going where I am, and just some general things about how you can start your business if you are thinking about becoming a notary in the state of Florida or a loan signing agent, or both, because they're actually the same thing. So first of all, let's get the housekeeping out of the way. Today is Friday. Tomorrow is Saturday, April the 15th. Today is one of the last days to buy your ticket. I mean, you can buy it tomorrow, but today is the last day to get your ticket for the Notaries at Night, featuring me, the Crafty Notary. I'll be there teaching you everything that you need to know about Ron and how to add Ron to your notary business and how to be profitable. Melissa is going to be there. She's going to be teaching you everything about structuring your business, general notary work, marketing, all of those things. And then we got Amy from the Ladybug Notary Services, who will be talking about notary safety, because we do go out of our homes sometimes into other people's homes, and we're traveling on the road, and safety is a big issue. And I know that I've been asked a lot of times about safety, or did I feel safe or comfortable in certain areas, especially where I live. And Amy will be there to talk all about that. My main advice is just to be vigilant. And then I also wanted to talk about the notary membership that I am forming. So if you've watched my last video, you will remember that I am no longer taking personal calls or calls from those who just want to ask questions. Before, I was very open to that, but because your girl works full time and I'm running my business and I'm doing other things as well, being a wife and a bonus mom, to a kid that's getting ready to go off to college and all of that stuff. Sometimes I just don't have the time, and I actually feel bad when either I can't answer the phone or I do, and I get pulled onto a call for 10 minutes. I think that I never mind doing it, but it's something that I won't be able to sustain. So I'm no longer taking those calls or emails. So if you email me or call me, you may not get a response. Okay, just putting that out there. I'm going to add all of that to the description as well come Sunday. So that information will be there. But what I did do to accommodate those who do have questions or who are new notaries and need to know, hey, can I notarize this? Or, hey, what should I do? Or is this something that you've ever seen before? I have created a notary membership. So for those who remember, I did have a notary group on Facebook. I closed that group because I wasn't satisfied with the amount of participation. So I'm going to use that group or repurpose that group for my notary membership. The notary membership will be $9.95 a month. No, $9.99 a month, right? So just under $10 or $10, right? $9.99 a month. You can cancel at any time. You are not, and in fact, I want you to cancel. So I want you to get in maybe for 2 or 3 or 4 months, maybe 6 at the most. And then I want you to cancel. I want you to cancel because I want you to be able to fly and do this thing on your own. And you shouldn't have to need a crutch, for the entire time. But if you want to stay, you can stay. I'll say that you can stay. So what comes along with the notary membership for $9.99? Number one, you'll get unlimited phone access to me via text. So you'll be able to text me unlimited during the day. And but my phone does go on Do Not Disturb at 9 p.m. I think it is. But I will answer your text the next day. You also will have phone access for emergency troubleshooting. So if you're at a signing or you're somewhere where you need an answer right now, you can pick up the phone and call me during business hours, of course, and you can get those questions answered. You have access to that private Facebook group. And in that Facebook group, you will be able to just post your screenshot. So if you get a document from someone and you need to know, what do I do? How do I notarize this? You can screenshot that, create a post in the Facebook group, and I will see that and I can answer you in real time. That may work out better than the texting because, again, my phone goes on do not disturb after 9 p.m., but I'm usually still up and I'm still usually looking at my phone and on Facebook. So if you put it there, especially after hours, I'll definitely see it and can answer your question right away. Also, I'm going to do periodic live Q&A in that Facebook group. So from time to time, I'll go in if I feel like that there's a lot of questions, or if you have questions and we need to do a Q&A, or if we just need to do a live video and you can come online on the live and ask your questions. We're going to do live Q&As in that group. All right. And then you can get quick answers to all of your notary questions. So again, that's going to be $9.99. It's going to be, I'm sure it's going to be a small membership. I don't know how big it would be, but I'm sure it will be a growing membership. And so that will be there for you to just have training wheels, right? You have on your training wheels, you can use me as a resource. And then when you're done, you just cancel and move on. No harm. and I won't be mad at you. So that's the other thing that I wanted to mention. So the tickets for the Notary Meetup will be in the description below. Use my code AL25 to get $25 off. We still have about 10 seats or so left. So if you want to get in, it's going to be tomorrow in Tampa at 4:30 p.m. and you'll get the address when you purchase the ticket. And we got games, we got prizes, we got material for you to take. We have headshots. So we have a photographer showing up, and with the price of your ticket, you will get a headshot. So if you don't have a professional headshot, you will get that for the price of your ticket. What else? I think that's it. So AL25, go drop down into the description box below, get the link, get the Notary Meetup ticket, and go to my website, ayanalugo.com, to sign up for the Notary membership if you need that. All right, there we go. So now let's just talk a little bit more candidly. So we are in April. This year is going by very fast already. We are already in the month of April. And I will say that I have met my minimum goal, which everybody should know by now. My minimum goal is $1,000 per month. I run a part-time notary business. I work full-time. And so my minimum goal is $1,000. Now in that $1,000, I do take out any expenses and stuff like that. And actually I reinvest more money into my business than I do pay myself, but I do pay myself from time to time. I have not hit my main goal, which was $1,500. I haven't hit that yet this month. I have a little bit of marketing to do. So I do have some direct clients, or I have at least one direct client, and I do get clients from Google, and I still do take runs on some platforms that offer on-demand notary. And I will say that I haven't hit my main goal of $1,500 for this year, but I've hit my minimum goal of $1,000 mostly every month. I think last month I didn't, but the first 2 months I did, and this month I'm trending to hit it as well. So I'm very happy about that. I'm happy about my progress, but I feel like there could be more. So that's just a matter of me getting my name out there, marketing, making some phone calls, and doing some emails, sending out my postcards, and trying to drum up a little bit more business, right? Right. So, that's where I am right now with my business. I still enjoy being a notary. My why for being a notary is that this business will carry me into retirement. And I'm establishing the business now so that when I do retire in plus years, that I already have a business that's established and ready to go. So yes, I plan to keep it going for that long. And that way, when I retire, if I want a little part-time, something, or whatever, if I want to go full-time with notary work, then I can do that at any given point in time, right? And so I'm still satisfied as a notary. I will say that a lot of the signings have declined. I probably only do 1 or 2 mobile signings a month now. And that's just because a lot of the signing services just are not getting the business. But as a real estate broker, I'm expecting that to change in the next year or so because while people may not refinance, people do one thing and one thing only. They rack up debt. And a lot of people were refinancing while the interest rates were low to pay off a lot of debt, a lot of credit card debt. And so people with those types of habits usually don't change, and they will rack up that credit card debt again, and they'll be looking for a way out of that debt. And instead of refinances, I'm thinking that it's going to flip to HELOCs, because those who refinanced into the 2 and 3% interest rates, there will be no way they will refinance out of that into a 6, 7, 8, 9% interest rate. So what they probably will do is open up a home equity line of credit and borrow against that. So I believe that we will see an increase or an uptick in HELOCs. And I think that I've already seen a few. So I do think that those will probably become a little bit more frequent, as well as purchases and sales are still there. They're still going to be there. People are always going to buy and sell real estate no matter what. It's just our inventory is really low. There's not a lot of homes on the market to buy. So a lot of sellers are not selling, but there's still a lot of buyers out in the market looking. So that will still always be the case. But yeah, I'm betting that as these loan modifications and stuff wind down from those who were in forbearance during COVID and they had to either refinance, sell, or do a loan modification or go into foreclosure, as that stuff kind of smooths itself out, we will probably see an uptick in the HELOCs. Okay. I don't know. I'll put it out there. I'll put my prediction out there and see if it comes true later on down the line. So overall, I'm still satisfied with my business. I do more RON now than I do anything else. And I'm pretty okay with that. I'm happy with that. For those who are starting out new, who are getting into the business now, I know sometimes you have a lot of questions about how do I get started, or should I create an LLC, or how do I choose a business name? What I'm going to say is operate very minimally to start out. So you can operate as a sole proprietor. Start out that way and make sure that this is something for you. I've said this before on my channel, but there is a lot of money that has to be invested, and it's relatively low compared to other businesses where the entry to the market is a lot higher. For example, like buying a laundromat or something like that. So this is relatively low compared to that. However, it's still money that you have to spend. And I would still say it's a good couple of $1,000s in training, and then maybe another couple of $1,000s in equipment. If you don't have a printer or a scanner or a computer, then, you will have to spend money for some of those things. And I would say start as a sole proprietor first, right? Don't worry so much about what your name is or what your name's going to be. You can use your name, Ayana Notary, on a business card. Don't go gung-ho and buy 1,000 business cards. Just buy a small amount of business cards. I use Canva. Get a small amount of business cards, get your name out there, and find out if this business is for you or if this industry is for you, because you don't even have to do it as a business. You can do it as a hobby. You can do it for family and friends. It doesn't have to be a full-fledged business. But if you're looking to turn it into a business and make some money, for you. I will say that, as a part-time notary, I can at least pay one of my bills. Um, I can pay one bill with my notary income. And for me, that was one of my main goals, even though I don't do that, but it was one of my main goals. And as long as I can maintain that I can pay one of my bills that doesn't have to come out of my paycheck, then I'm happy with that. So as a part-time notary, you can do that. As a full-time notary, you can earn much more. It takes much more effort in order to do that. And so I would say make sure you have a a cushion before you jump full time, because you need to ramp up. And I will say that now that I'm going into my third year as a notary, second or third year, I think this is my second year as a notary, I will say that the doors start to open, the gears start to churn after you've been a notary probably 6 to 9 months. For some people, it happens right away. But I would think for most, when you start creating those relationships and you start getting your name out there, you start perfecting your craft of being a notary, that's when people will start to list you as preferred and you will start getting business more frequently. So it does take time. What else was I going to say about that? So again, start out really slow, in my opinion. As a sole proprietor, you can use a business name as a sole proprietor. You just would have to do a DBA. But I would say even refrain from that if you think down the line you would want to do an LLC, because then you can use that same business name for the LLC. So you can always start just with your name and notary on a business card. People are going to hire you still. Okay. Even as an LLC, the taxes are filed through your personal taxes anyway. So as a sole proprietor, they're through your personal taxes too. So I would say you can start that way. The only one thing that I would say, even as a sole proprietor, I would still have a separate bank account. I would still get an EIN as a sole proprietor and set up a business bank account. You always want to keep your money, your business money, separate from your personal money. And you can always transfer money to yourself as a business owner when you want to pay yourself. But I think that it is best to not commingle those funds and keep them separate for the time being, right? All right. You can still get an EIN as a sole proprietor. So that's what I would say is start slow. As far as names and stuff like that, keep it very simple. If you have a favorite name that you like, or if you want to just use your last name in notary services, go for it. Don't overthink it. Nobody's looking at your name. Like, nobody cares about your name. Nobody's looking at it. I will say Google your potential business name ahead of time to find out if somebody else is using that name. It's a lot less likely if you're using your own personal name, but you never know, especially if you have a common name. So Google it and see what else is out there under that business name and govern yourself accordingly, because you not only want to check it for your state, but you want to see who has that name across the globe, right? Because you don't want to have someone with the same name, or you don't want to take a name that somebody else already has, even if you're in different states. Or you don't want to do that. I knew that I wanted to use the Crafty Notary. I had a business before, it was called the Crafty Collection. So I just used Crafty Notary. I Googled it and nobody was using it. If you Google it now, everything that will come up in Google will be me, right? And so someone actually tried to use the Crafty Notary and I had to let them know, like, hey, my name, it is in process to be trademarked now with the state, but it wasn't before. And I just let her know, like, while I don't have a trademark and I cannot legally stop you, if without like going through extensive court for using it, you won't be able to get any socials. You won't be able to exist in this notary marketplace because I already used that name with signing services and stuff like that. And ultimately, she ended up choosing a different name. So the name, don't overthink it. It's not that serious. You don't have to really put a lot of thought into that. Just get started. A lot of people do a lot of planning and prepping to get started, and they never get started. So I would say get started. And I see that a lot when I'm coaching, that people are always just, oh, I need one more training, or I need this, or I need that. You don't actually need any training beyond the class you take to get the notary commission to get started. Once you get your stamp, you can get started. I would say read the Florida statutes. That's all the training you need and get started. So, if you're still struggling, you're still feeling like you need that boost and that push, get into my notary membership. That is one of the reasons why I will have it. It's because I will be encouraging you to keep moving forward and to keep growing your business. What else do I want to talk about today? I think that's it for today. I just kind of wanted to cover some things that are still hanging out there that people are still looking at doing. If you've had your notary stamp from an employer and you're looking now to flip into doing your own business, do it. Do it. Even if you still work for that employer, do it. Your notary commission is yours. It's not your employer's, and you can use it wherever you please. So I would say start getting your name out there. Start with right where you live. Start in your community. Start with family and friends. Start with your Facebook. Start with Nextdoor. Start right where you live, right? And start getting your name out there so that you can generate business. How do I price my services? I get that question a lot. You purchase my notary calculator. So the notary calculator will help you price your services for mobile, online, weddings, and apostilles. I think those are the 4. So it's 4 in 1. And if you don't want to purchase the calculator, that's fine, but just start with the basics. You can charge for your stamps. We know that it's $10 per stamp, or up to $10 per stamp. You don't have to charge $10 for every stamp, but it's $10 a stamp. You can also charge for your time. You can also charge for your expertise. So for me, I charge a flat rate for that. So I just looked up what's the average rate for, someone in this type of industry, an hourly rate. It's on the state website. It's on the U.S. federal website, the Labor Department of Labor and Statistics. And it's around $20 in the state of Florida. So I charge $20 an hour. I'm never there sometimes a whole hour, but I charge $20 an hour for my time and my expertise. And then you can also charge mileage. And for me, I charge the IRS rate for mileage. I don't do a flat fee. I just do round trip miles, and I charge the 65 cents per mile on the mileage. You can charge for that. You can also charge for any other thing that you need to provide. So if you're printing for someone, if you're scanning for someone, if you need to drop off something for someone, if you're doing a wedding and you're going to take the license back to the courthouse, you can charge for all of those things. I will say that this is for like individual customers. When you're working with a signing agent, the signing company sets their price, right? And while those prices can be negotiated, oftentimes you will not get the signing if you negotiate the price. They will find someone who will do it for that price. And so I just had this conversation with someone in a group on Facebook, and I will stand on this soapbox forever. Take the signing. Either you take it or you don't. So if they're offering a signing for $100 or $50 or $30, either you take the signing or you don't. You can negotiate the price. I do it from time to time, and sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. Most often I don't. And with the signings being less and these signing services struggling for business as well, they are looking to keep a little bit more money in their pocket because they have people to pay, and they're splitting that signing with you. So a lot of times all they're getting is $150 or whatever, and they're splitting that with you. So I would say for signing services, the fee is what it is. Either you take it or you leave it. They don't pay for 30 days sometimes anyway. So you take it or leave it. And I will say $40 is better than $0, and $40 is $400. So I would say, you know what, either make the money or don't make the money as it relates to signing services. I still see people saying, you're devaluing yourself, or this is why signing services have decreased their price. No, they have decreased their price because their business has went down just like everybody else's, right? A lot of signing services actually went out of business because they could not afford to continue, right? Or they reverted back to just being their own business, just one notary, right? When the pandemic hit, they had more business than they could count. And so they started signing services. It's not the case anymore. So the fee is what it is. Once you establish a relationship with once you establish a relationship with a signing service and they know that they can depend on you to do the job and do it right, they will give you more money automatically. They will offer you more money automatically. They won't mind. But when you are someone that they don't know, someone that they've never worked with, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to offer you much more because they don't know, they don't have a relationship with you. But the more you do for them, sometimes at the lower prices, the more they will work with you and the better your chances are that they will increase your rate. So don't get hung up on that. Don't get hung up on whether or not you're making the right amount of money or you're charging too much or too little as it relates to signing services, right? Because their fees is going to be what it is. But I still see these posts in Facebook groups saying, is this too low? Is it a low ball? Make the money or don't. Because if you don't make the money, somebody else will. Okay? And for individual clients, my Notary calculator can help you calculate all those fees, and so that you don't feel like you're undervaluing yourself. The Notary calculator is on my website as well, ayanalugo.com. And I'll give you a coupon code. I don't know what that code would be. But it'll be in the description. I'll make the code and put it in the description. Or, you know what, better yet, DM me on Instagram and I will give you the code on Instagram. How about that? That way we can strike up a relationship and talk as well. So DM me on Facebook or Instagram. So the Crafty Notary is on Facebook and Instagram. Hit me up on one of those pages, send me a private message, and I'll give you the code to get $10 off on the calculator. All right. And I think that's it. We'll keep this to 30 minutes. I hope you've watched it all the way to the end. If you did, congratulations. Comment below and say, I'm so happy to be a notary. That way I know you watched all the way to the end. And as usual, please comment below, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.